You have trusted someone who was already gone. You told them your plans. You defended their name in rooms they will never know about. And while you were protecting them, they were quietly calculating what your downfall would cost. Betrayal does not arrive like a storm. It arrives like winter, slowly, then all at once. But here is what separates the powerful from the powerless. The powerless discover betrayal on the day it happens. The powerful saw it coming months before. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this over 500 years ago. He watched allies embrace in the morning and sharpen knives by nightfall. He studied how disloyalty behaves before it strikes, and he wrote it down. Today, that knowledge becomes yours. By the end of this, you will know the 7 silent signs that someone close to you has already made their decision, and you will know exactly what to do about it. So sit down, lock in, and listen carefully, because what you are about to learn will change the way you move through this world forever. The anatomy of betrayal. Understand this first. Betrayal is never an event. It is a process. No one wakes up one morning and decides to destroy you. The decision forms in layers. A flicker of envy, a swallowed resentment, a quiet comparison between your life and theirs that they keep losing. By the time the knife appears, the betrayal is already months old. You are not witnessing the crime. You are witnessing the conclusion. This is why most men get blindsided. They watch for the explosion while ignoring the smoke. Machiavelli did not learn this from books. He learned it from a cell. For 14 years he served Florence. The missions, the letters, the late nights holding a fragile republic together. Then the regime fell. His name surfaced on a list, and the city he had served let them take him. Prison. The rope. The drop. He walked out of that cell carrying a truth most men never survive long enough to learn. Loyalty is a season, not a law, and seasons change quietly. In exile, he studied one question with cold obsession. How does treachery behave before it acts? His answer is the most valuable thing he ever left behind. People leak their intentions. Always. The mind can plan a betrayal, but the habits, the eyes, the small daily behaviors cannot keep the secret. Every traitor confesses early, just never in words. Most men refuse to watch. You are about to become the exception. 7 signs. Miss them, and you learn about betrayal the way Machiavelli did. Catch them, and no one ever gets close enough to cut you again. But first, let me show you exactly what blindness looks like. The blind man sees the signs and negotiates with them. The replies got shorter. They are just busy. The questions got sharper. They are just curious. The invitation never came. It must have slipped their mind. He has an excuse ready for every red flag, and he calls this loyalty. It is not loyalty. It is fear. He needs the relationship to be real. He has invested years into it, poured favors and money and time into it, and admitting the shift would mean admitting the investment is lost. So he protects the story instead of himself. He doubles down on the person exactly when he should be pulling back. The blind man also confuses access with devotion. They sit at his table, so he assumes they want him fed. They know his secrets, so he assumes his secrets are safe. He never asks the colder question, what are my secrets worth to them now? And when his instinct taps him on the shoulder, when something in his chest tightens at the way they said of course, he silences it. He calls himself paranoid. He apologizes, inside his own head, for noticing. Understand what this means. His enemies do not have to disarm him. He disarms himself. You have done this. Somewhere in your past there is a betrayal you replay, and every time you replay it, you find the warnings sitting in plain sight. And if a specific name crossed your mind in the last 60 seconds, that name is not an accident. But you will be different. You are going to learn another way. The Machiavellian does not listen to words. Words are a wardrobe. People dress their intentions every morning before they see you. He watches patterns instead, because patterns are the body telling the truth about the mind. He establishes a baseline for everyone close to him, how they speak, how they reach out, what they ask about, and then he watches for deviation. Deviation is data. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, and few experience what you really are. Now turn that lens around. Everyone shows you what they appear to be. Your task is to experience what they really are before the lesson gets expensive. This does not make you cold. You laugh at the dinner. You show up. You remain warm to the people in your life. But beneath the warmth, A quiet second self takes notes. What's present on the surface, watching underneath. That is the posture. Hold it now, while we walk through the 7 signs one by one. And as you hear them, hold the faces of your circle up against each one. Someone in your life is about to look very different by the end of this list. Sign 1. The warmth cools by 1 degree at a time. Before anyone betrays you, they must first withdraw from you emotionally. The heart leaves months before the knife arrives. There is a reason for this. To move against you, they need you to become smaller in their mind. Distance is how they manufacture permission, and that distance shows. The messages that used to end in questions now end in periods. The reply that took minutes now takes a day, arrives as 1 line, and asks you nothing back. The laughter still happens, but it lands half a second late. Let's became we should, and we should means never. None of these things are proof on their own. Life gets busy, people drift. But betrayal has a signature that ordinary drift does not. The cooling is selective. They are distant with you and glowing everywhere else. You see them pour energy into every room except yours. That selectivity is the tell. The blind man chases the fading warmth. He sends the second message, makes the extra call, works harder to be liked by someone already leaving. Never chase. Note the date. Say nothing. A cooling is not yet a crime, and you do not convict on sign 1. You simply open a file. Machiavelli would tell you that fortune shows her shifts in small signs first, and the wise ruler moves early. The temperature dropped for a reason. Your only job right now is to find out why. Silently. Sign 2. Their questions change direction. Pay close attention to what someone asks you, because questions are the fingerprints of intent. A friend asks about your life to feel it with you. A future traitor asks about your life to map it. The texture is different, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Suddenly they are curious about specifics that connection never needed. What exactly you earn, how the deal is structured, what your partner knows and does not know, who would side with you if things went wrong, which of your relationships are strained. They collect, and they share nothing back. You answer their questions, and realize later, you learned nothing about them in return. That asymmetry is the sign. Information is position. No one strikes without a map, so before every betrayal comes a quiet survey of the territory. They are not talking to you. They are measuring you. Here is the counter. Fog. You stay warm and go vague. Numbers become ranges. Plans become maybes. Names become nobody you know. You feed the mapmaker blank pages and watch how frustrated they get. Genuine friends never notice the fog, but collectors always do, and their irritation confirms everything. If you are still here, you are not the average viewer. Prove it. Write it in the comments. My eyes are open. Because the next sign is the one that fools even intelligent men. Sign 3. The flattery gets louder. This is the sign that runs opposite to instinct, which is exactly why it works. You expect an enemy to turn cold. You do not expect them to become your biggest fan. Yet right before the strike, the compliments swell. You are toasted at the dinner, praised in the meeting, told, more often than ever, how much you matter. Machiavelli warned that courts collapse from this exact plague, flatterers, and that men are so easily pleased with themselves that the sweet voice slips past every defense. Understand why the traitor flatters. 2 reasons. First, comfort is a sedative, and a comfortable man checks nothing, verifies nothing, suspects nothing. The praise is anesthesia before surgery. Second, flattery manages their own guilt. Every kind word is a payment against the thing they have already decided to do to you. Watch for the split between the words and the record. The praise rises, while the actions fall. They celebrate you in public, and go silent when you leave the room. They admire your project and somehow never support it where support would cost them something. Words up, actions down. When those 2 lines cross, start counting backward. The powerful man runs one quiet test here. He measures every compliment against the last concrete thing that person did for him. If the ledger shows beautiful language and empty hands, he smiles, says thank you, and moves his valuables. Sudden sweetness is not affection. It is timing. Sign 4. Small betrayals appear as rehearsal. No one begins with the knife. They begin with a pin. A private detail of yours surfaces in a group chat, softened as a joke. A confidence you shared comes back wearing someone else's voice. A story gets told at the dinner table at your expense, with a blade folded inside the laughter. And when your face changes, they say, "Relax. It was nothing." It was not nothing. It was a test. Before anyone commits to betraying you, they probe the cost of it. They push a small breach across the line and study your response, the way a thief taps a fence to learn if it is electric. Let it slide, and you have not kept the peace. You have posted the price of crossing you, and the price is zero. Silence reads as permission, and permission invites escalation. The pin becomes a nail. The nail becomes the knife. So you enforce. Once. Quietly. No outburst. An outburst tells them they reached you. You stayed it flat. Almost bored. That detail was private. It does not happen again. Then you watch what they do with the correction, because this is where they reveal themselves. A loyal person feels the sting and guards your name harder afterward. A rehearsing traitor apologizes smoothly, waits a decent interval, and tests again from a new angle. The apology is not the data. The repetition is. Twice is not clumsiness. Twice is a program running. Sign 5. New alliances form in your blind spot. Watch who they warm to. Loyalty is visible in the map of a person's friendships, and that map redraws itself before every betrayal. Suddenly they are close, genuinely close, with the one person who resents you most. They laugh with the rival, lunch with the critic. They appear in rooms you were not invited to, and know things that could only have traveled from those rooms. Nothing dramatic is announced. The chessboard simply rearranges itself around you, one square at a time. Betrayal is rarely a solo performance. Before moving against you, people secure backing. An audience, an ally, an exit. The new friendship is not social. It is structural. In 1983, Steve Jobs recruited John Scully from Pepsi, famously asking whether he wanted to sell sugar water for the rest of his life, or come change the world. He courted him, elevated him, handed him the company's crown. Within 2 years, Scully had quietly consolidated the board, while Jobs still believed his position was untouchable. The vote came in 1985, and Jobs lost the company he had built in his family's garage. The strike took one meeting. The alliance took months, and it formed in plain sight, in his blind spot. Do not just track how people treat you. Track who they eat with. When someone close to you builds a bridge to someone who wants you diminished, that bridge was built to carry something. Alliances predict actions. Read the map before you are removed from it. Sign 6. They start keeping receipts. Listen for this shift in the language, because it is one of the darkest and most reliable signs on this list. Your own words begin returning to you with edges on them. Well, you said, remember when you did. They quote you like a prosecutor now, not a friend. Filing, dating, archiving, and stranger than that, your generosity starts getting rewritten. The loan you gave becomes you holding money over them. The opportunity you handed them becomes proof of your arrogance. The years of support become a story about their suffering in your shadow. Understand what you are hearing. No one betrays while feeling like the villain. The self will not allow it. So before the act, they must draft a story in which you deserve it. The grievance file is not a symptom of their anger. It is the legal paperwork of their conscience, prepared in advance. Machiavelli saw this mechanism with brutal clarity when he warned that new benefits never erase old injuries in the minds of ambitious men. Translate that. Every favor you have done is already discounted to zero, and every slight, real or invented, is accruing interest. When you hear your history being rewritten, the verdict is already drafted. They are not remembering. They are justifying. Your move is simple and cold. Stop feeding the file. Shrink what you share. Shorten what you explain. And hand the archivist nothing new, while you quietly prepare for the day the file gets opened. Sign 7. The room already knows. This is the final sign, and it is the one your body has been trying to give you all along. Conversations stop a half beat late when you enter. A mutual friend suddenly cannot hold your eyes. Someone laughs at a reference you were never told about. And when you ask if everything is good, there is a pause. A small, loaded pause. Before, of course. Nothing you could write in a report. Everything you need to know. Your instinct catches these fragments long before your reasoning does, because instinct is pattern recognition running faster than language. That tightening in your chest around a particular person is not weakness and not paranoia. It is a verdict your mind has already reached and cannot yet say out loud. History's most powerful man ignored exactly this. Julius Caesar spent the morning of the Ides surrounded by signals, advisors uneasy, warnings whispered, and historians record that a written warning naming the plot was pressed into his hand as he walked to the Senate. He never read it. He had already decided that the men around him were loyal, and a decided mind deletes evidence. The blade came from Brutus, the man he had protected and raised like a son, the most connected man in Rome, and the room knew before he did. The warning always arrives. Always. Reading it is your job. When your gut flags someone, do not argue with it. Investigate it. So the signs are lit. As you heard them, a face kept appearing. Maybe 2, maybe 3 signs deep. Now comes the law that separates the strategist from the casualty. Seeing is not announcing. The amateur confronts. He needs the confession, the apology, the scene. And all his confrontation achieves is a better trained traitor, one who now knows exactly which signals you read. You will do the opposite. You say nothing. You reposition. Quietly shrink what they can reach. The information you hand them, the access they enjoy, the weight of your life that rests on their reliability. Let them keep the smile. Take back the leverage. And if you need certainty, run the silent test. Hand them one harmless piece of information, something unique, something only they receive. Then wait. If it comes back to you wearing another voice, you have your answer without a single accusation. Machiavelli watched this discipline at close range in the winter of 1502. Cesare Borgia's own captains had turned on him and conspired, and Borgia knew, yet he greeted them warmly for weeks, negotiated, embraced them at Senigallia like brothers. He had seen it early, so he owned the timing, the ground, the terms. By the next morning, the conspiracy was dead, and Machiavelli, standing close enough to watch it unfold, wrote the account himself. Take the sequence, not the cruelty. The man who sees first chooses the ground. The man who sees last has it chosen for him. And when you finally live this way, warm outside, watching inside, unhurried, something in you settles. This is not paranoia. Paranoia is fear of the unknown. This is acquaintance with the known. You stop being surprised by people, so you stop being afraid of them. Say it quietly, the way a fact is said. I see them first. Not a boast, a decision about who does the watching in your life from now on. Now remove the blindfold completely, because there is one layer left, and it is the hardest. Machiavelli did not write for dreamers. He wrote for men, willing to see the species clearly. He observed that a man will sooner forget the death of his father than the loss of his inheritance. Sit with how cold that is. Interest outlives affection. In most hearts, it outweighs it. People rarely betray you out of hatred. They betray you out of self-love. Your position simply stood between them and something they wanted, and affection lost the auction. Envy sharpens this. Your rise is an accusation read aloud to them daily, and forgiveness for your success is the rarest currency on earth. Proximity loads the weapon. A stranger can only attack you. Betrayal is a privilege reserved for the trusted, which means the guest list of your life is also the list of suspects, and it was always meant to be read that way. So retire the naive question. Stop asking whether they would ever. Start asking under what pressure they would. Everyone close to you has a breaking point where loyalty and self-interest part ways. Most people are never bid on, and they mistake that for virtue. This is not cynicism. It is accuracy. And accuracy does not make you cold toward people. You can love them, laugh with them, build with them, while knowing exactly what they are. Trust stops being a default you hand out and becomes a decision you issue, in measured amounts, with open eyes. That is not the death of connection. It is the first honest version of it. You have made it to the end, but this is not really an ending. The real enemy was never the traitor. The real enemy is the man you were before the last 20 minutes. The version of you that handed out trust like business cards. The version of noticed the cooling, the strange questions, the late laughter, and explained it all away, because seeing it would have demanded action. The version that mistook access for loyalty and flattery for love. That man is the co-author of every betrayal you have survived. Today you bury him. Kill him with observation. Kill him with patience. Kill him with standards. Tomorrow you walk into the same rooms and sit with the same faces. but you are no longer the same audience. You hear what is missing from sentences. You notice who asks and who tells, who warms and who cools, who watches you when they think you are not watching. Nothing about you turns hostile. You become calmer than you have ever been. The calmest man in the room is the one reading it. Machiavelli's Florence is gone. The courts, the princes, the palace intrigues, dust. But open his pages, and it is your office, your family table, your circle, because the species has not changed, and the signs have not changed in 500 years. They are eternal. Master them, and no one will ever stand behind you holding something you did not see coming. I see them first. No one can save you. No one can do this work for you. And no one is coming to warn you about the people in your life. The warning is already there, sitting in patterns you have been refusing to read. That refusal dies today. This is not a one-time choice. It is a daily discipline. Every conversation, every room, every relationship, watched calmly, judged accurately, enjoyed fully, but never blindly again. If you are ready to live with your eyes open, write these words in the comments. I see them first, not as a wish, as a declaration, to yourself, and to every future version of you that will be tested. If this reached something in you, hit the like button. It costs you nothing, and it tells me this work is finding the men it was written for. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on notifications. This channel is a long, cold study of the forces that actually move people. Power, envy, fear, silence. The things they feel every day and never say out loud. You now see what most men will die without ever seeing. Somewhere close to you, a season is quietly changing. This time, you will notice it early. I see them first. Now prove it.